Our lesson today is a familiar one. It is the story of the prodigal son, and our book calls it Redeeming Love, and it is from Luke 15. The story goes as follows. A father had two beautiful sons. One day, the younger son said, Dad, give me my share of the inheritance now. I don't want to wait until you pass away. I want my money now so I can go off and do whatever it is that I want to do. And the father said, Okay. So he gave his son the share of the inheritance, and the son went off to the big city. He started partying, having a good time. He was gambling, once again having a good time. And next thing you know, the son lost everything and he was broke and homeless. Well, a famine entered the land, and so he had to find a job. Keep in mind, this son had a nice home with servants and land, but because he wanted all of his money before his father passed away, now he's broke and homeless. And so he got a job feeding pigs. And ultimately, his food was a food that the pigs wouldn't eat. So he was eating leftover pig slop. It really got bad. And so the younger son thought, this is horrible. I'm going to go back home and ask for forgiveness, and maybe my dad will forgive me. So the son headed back home, wondering, is my dad going to forgive me? Maybe my dad will let me work like one of his servants, but at least I'll have food and a place to stay. Well, the father saw his son coming back from a distance, and he ran up to him and he gave him a great big old hug. He forgave him for all that he had done, and he was restored back to his previous standing. The father said, Get my son a brand new suit, give my son a nice big old fancy ring, and let's have a feast because my son was once lost, but he is now found. And it is good to have my son back home. Well, the older brother got a little jealous. The older brother said, What about me, Dad? My younger brother went off and he squandered all of his money away while I was here working and being a loyal, loving son. The father said, Look, I love you too. My love hasn't changed, but your brother who was lost is now found, and we are all one big happy family again. So, the moral of this story, or as it applies to us, if we feel like we've gone astray and left God behind, God loves us, and we can always go back home and he will receive us with open arms.